Well, good afternoon. My name is Jim Angel. I'm the Vice President of Trimble Video Intelligence. Terrific to spend some time with you this afternoon. Hopefully I'll be able to get through the majority of this presentation. There's a lot here. I would absolutely welcome you to stop by the booth, ask more questions. We're going to move pretty quickly through this. I'll try to give you as much information as possible. So when you talk to your customers, this is really about the ability to just risk management, right? So you have the exoneration piece, you have the protection piece, and you have the prevention piece. So prevention is all about behavior and coaching and things like that. But without video, you really don't know what you're dealing with on either side of that fence. You don't know what really happened in the accident. You may not know exactly what's going on with your driver. So we've got all these buckets of false claims, people that are coming at you telling you that it's all your fault, the cost to defend those. So when you talk about the little community that kind of surrounds one of these claims, litigation, your own people, your attorneys, things like that, that increases your customers' premiums when they have too many of those, gives them a bad reputation, and you've also got driver complaints, the ones that say, this was not my fault, but you don't have the information to prove any differently because between media and other people and possibly a false eyewitness, you're not getting the full story. These are some examples of collision costs. These are brought together by the FMCSA. They include all classes of vehicles. In full transparency, I will tell you that the majority of the higher numbers exist in that Class 8 environment. So that tractor trailer, you've seen all the ads alongside the highway about people. We've got the Hammer in Texas that always tells you about, you get in an accident with a truck, let us know, we can help you get money. But bottom line is there are substantial dollars, and when it comes to video, the number one opportunity for video is your return on investment. You think about the ability to take one of these costs, let's just use the injury, $200,000 to $500,000, that will more than pay for a system of up to even 500 units for the first annual hardware and software charge. So it really is an easy return on investment. Exonerate drivers from false claims, know when to settle, even when it's that customer's driver's fault. You know what happened, when it happened, and how it happened, so you aggressively seek to close that claim sooner. Once again, reducing costs of the overall claim. And this is what insurance companies love about their companies and their customers having video, is that that's what it's all about, reduce and close claims faster. And then obviously be able to identify coaching opportunities. If you do have a driver, your customer has a bad driver that is showing habits that could be improved upon. Maybe he's got a heavy foot, maybe he hits the brake too often or hits the brake late. This gives you the information to be able to coach and talk to that driver, and when they can physically see the video about what they're doing, it makes it very, very easy to change behavior. I want to play this video, let this go through. This is a very high level, 1 minute, that will give you some pieces of the pie here about our very proud announcement and integration that was launched yesterday with Geotab. We've been doing video for, this is our 6th year, so we're a tried and true solution. We've mostly operated in the Class 8 environment, trucking and transportation. Having the opportunity to partner with Geotab, we're looking forward to being able to handle all types of vehicles, whether that be light duty Class 1 to 5 or the rest of them Class 6 to 8. You'll see here some of the examples of being integrated into the Geotab portal. So we have a full integration you're able to go to in what your customers are already used to operating in. You're able to go and get the videos. You're able to go and request on-demand videos for that phone call that you may have gotten that says, hey, your guy ran over my mailbox when he left the job site. You can actually go back by time of day and request video for that incident that may have not necessarily been triggered by any type of event. And then we want to be sure and give you reporting and KPI dashboards so that you can keep track of your trends. So first off, let's talk about, there's kind of two different services. Video on demand, lower cost per month subscription-wise. You get all the access to what you're already used to in the Geotab portal, In addition to that, you get access to the standalone Trimble portal, which gives you access to all the health tools, gives you all the access to the reporting and things like that as part of that. And it's a smaller subscription, and you only go out and then pay by the minute. So it's a kind of pay by the drink type of situation. So your customers are in full control of how much they spend. You may have a customer that is not interested in, nor has the time to, coach and train drivers. They are only worried about their bottom line and protecting that via accident incident videos. So you just go and select those by time of day. And like I said, if you have a vehicle that's got no incidents, you're paying that lower monthly subscription for only that, and you've not gone out and gotten any minutes. You make those selections off the mapping. You simply select the camera view that you want, the time of day that you want. We keep track of those requests. These arrows are the views of your camera. So if it's a 2-channel system and you're utilizing both cameras, we'll tell you which ones those are. Simply go and request that, and then you pull it back into the portal and view it from here. That literally happens in the amount of time of seconds. So it's a near real-time application. As long as your device is within cell coverage, if you're in good cell coverage, you go out and make this request, and literally seconds later, you're able to pull that up via the portal and view the information that you want to. Just a quick example of that on-demand feature. So you've got a truck that's completely sitting still. This happened while their driver was in paying attention to the fuel island or getting a large drink or something like that. Driver comes back out to damage on his vehicle. This would not have triggered an accelerometer of any type. This would not have triggered an event. But that way you've got the assurance to be able to go back and get information by time of day. So simply unit number, time of day, amount of minutes that you want, and they were able to capture this substantial damage that was done to their truck. Rules and exceptions. So being a Geotab customer and being very transparent, end of Q1, we're a publicly traded company. We're very, very conservative in giving out dates. I can tell you that that's going to happen within Q1 and not by the end. But we are, to my knowledge, our differentiator in some of us and our competition is the ability to use the exceptions that your customers are used to using, and we triggering off of those. So we're not using a separate accelerometer over here and trying to match that up with what you've set or your customers have set in your Geotab device. We only trigger video off of the exceptions that you've already got set up. This is very unique, I think, to the Geotab integration, where we're doing more than just bringing video into the portal. We are actually letting your customers tell us when they want video. So if you move it all the way over to heavy G-force and that's the only ones you want, that's all we'll send. If you want to back that off and you want a lighter setting, that's what we'll bring forward. That is what we call our enterprise or event subscription, a little bit higher than the on-demand, but it's basically an unlimited subscription that gives you all the activity that you, the customer, has control of. And I think it's very, very important that you have matching data. If you're in a situation where your customer has to defend themselves, you've got your exception-based data over here, you've got your video over here, they need to be identical. They need to be the same data, so you're not defending videos that you don't have exceptions for, or you're not defending exceptions that you do not have video for. Just some other screenshots of what you'll be able to soon see very quickly. Another way to go up, you'll see the types of rules that are available. Some of the exceptions that have been created by some very creative customers, those will be available as an automated on-demand. So not everybody's going to want those. Your standards are harsh cornering, braking, possible collision, and sudden start. Those are the automatic ones that come in. The rest of these are choice by option. Go and get, once again, in control of how many videos you actually receive. Very configurable. Here's just some examples of some exceptions, how we kind of walk that through, bring that to life in the video, show you where it happened, give you some details about driver and vehicle, and the ability then to play the video as well as I showed you before. So here we've got Jonathan Smith. You can go in and filter by that driver's name or by that unit number and only get the videos that pertain to Jonathan or Jonathan's assigned truck, or if you just want to see the videos that were triggered by a particular truck that may have had multiple drivers, all those filter capabilities are there for the user, makes it very, very easy and friendly to deal with. This is an example of being able to take advantage of some of the data that Geotab provides. So depending on your type of vehicle and also the type of equipment, we'll bring this forward showing speed, posted speed limit at the time that that happened. We have some borders here that will actually allow you to configure yellow and red if they're over the speed at the posted speed limit. Give you some RPM, GPS speed for validation. And then if your equipment, particularly in Class 8, if they're using collision mitigation of any type, we can actually get a hold of that data as well and give you following distance and forward vehicle speed. As long as the data is being gathered and collected, we can bring that forward and apply it to the video. Once again, try to be very transparent, not overpromise. It will depend on your equipment and your vehicle type of what's available and what we're able to show with the video. Just some more screenshots of the mapping. This is the stuff that your customers are used to dealing with on a day-to-day basis. This is how easy it is to go in. We'll tell you where an exception is. You can actually view the video just by clicking on the exception. We'll pop it up, be able to see it from there. And then I want to advance a little bit quicker into some of this other stuff. This is our mobile platform, so Google and Apple, either one, so Android or Apple solutions. You can use our video solution portably as well, so your customers at home watching their kids' ball game on a Saturday afternoon, they can get notification and go and actually play the video from their mobile app and be able to address operational decisions, which I loved what the CEO and the Vice President of Sales and Marketing said this morning about you can't make good decisions without the right information. Right? So this allows you to do that from a portable standpoint, mobility standpoint, that gives you access to that information very conveniently. The ability to review that video, make your comments, select a risky behavior that you might have seen that you want to talk to the driver about, add coaching comments, click submit. And then what we do in the back office is we keep track of all those videos that have been reviewed, the ones that have been coached, the ones that might need coaching. And like I said, with the flexibility of our system, you can choose to coach or you can choose to not coach. So it's entirely configurable and flexible for your customer depending on what their large need is. Just some other examples of screenshots. Like I said, we'd be more than happy to go through this. This is our health tool that is in our standalone portal. This gives you the health of every DVR that is in your customer's vehicle. So these white boxes is a healthy unit. We will color those orange or yellow or gray based on the problem that they might be to give you real-time information about maybe it's disconnected, maybe a camera got disconnected, maybe a camera went bad. Our hardware is very robust, it has very low RMA rates, but every once in a while you're going to get a bad DVR or a bad camera. We're by no means perfect. There's no technology that is. We want to be able to give your customers, though, that information so they can follow along. They can subscribe to a report, either a 5 a.m. summary or the ability to just get real-time alerts and details. This tool right here is the same tool that's used to install it to get the appropriate camera angle, but you can actually log in, go and select by hitting test camera. You can actually bring a real-time snapshot of each camera, where they're placed and what they're looking at. This does not feed into the on-demand minutes. You can use that as often as you want. And things that our customers have found that's very, very handy, particularly in the winter months, you got a vehicle that's in severe weather alert, go see how bad it is. Go see what they're looking at. Are they in bumper-to-bumper traffic? Are they in front of the Cinema 12 instead of at the job site that they're supposed to be at? Go and select a quick snapshot, see what they're looking at, and this can be accessed in the standalone portal. So feature heavy, a lot of information. This is some examples, some of the reporting. So we'll tell you who's creating what, how many by unit, how many by drivers being created, who's coaching them, whether or not they're reviewed complete, coached, and whether or not they were severity 1 or 2. So you can even turn that severity on or off. If you only want the higher severity, you can once again configure that. So a lot of flexibility, a lot of configuration opportunity. This is where we keep track of just another table log. So this is the video link, the blue hyperlink. You can click on that, go directly to the video and play it from there. And then as I mentioned, we want to keep you and give your customers information on their system. So in this case, we're keeping track of total events. We're giving them a trend line. So how many miles on average in between events, are they improving or are they not improving? Great example, we had a customer, 500 trucks. They started out at about an average of 648 miles in between events. After 12 months of deployment, they increased that to over 2,700 miles. So almost a 4 times improvement in all types of events being reduced, which takes wear and tear off the trucks, plus it improved their accident rate. They've seen a large return on investment on theirs on a couple of different accidents that they had, but we want to help the customer keep track of that in a very easy to use dashboard that has date filters, OER or event type filters, and then giving them how many coached and have how many been reviewed. Our 2-channel DVR, quick look at the hardware, and I've got to move quickly. A lot of people ask why not 1080? Well, there was one primary reason for that. We went with 720 because it's all about the amount of time that we can store on the device. Very quickly, if you just look on 64 gig or 32 gigabytes of storage, you can get 6.5 hours of 1080. You can get 72.5 or 3 days of 720. Almost the same quality, but you have the opportunity to go back 3 days and get information in return that you may need to investigate something. Think about something happening on a Friday, a driver didn't tell them about it till Monday, they can still go back and look. At 1080, that information is going to be rewritten that quicker, and you're not going to be able to go back. So it's really about the ability to go back and store versus a slight difference in quality. Our DVR is capable of managing 1080, so as we figure out better ways to store, better ways to compress the video, you won't have to replace the DVR, you'll only have an opportunity to replace the camera. So we're always looking far enough ahead. Our video is 12 frames per second. I think that's important to bring forward. So almost movie quality. You'll see a lot more better transition from dark to light. We use wide dynamic range cameras to take advantage of that. 2 channels, so you have 2 camera capability. As I pointed out with our app to be able to install, everything we have is 4G LTE, so you don't have to worry about the CDMA network. And then, as I mentioned, 32 gigs, but there's another slot that's available. You can actually double that storage or move up to a higher SD card if you want to expand that opportunity to store data. Our 4-channel, very, very similar. It comes with 64 gigabyte standard, has 4 slots, so you can expand, and has a couple of other features that are available, and you'll see things like OEM style snap connectors, some examples of our cameras, and I would like to mention that all of our devices have 6 supercapacitors, so in a catastrophic collision where the vehicle loses power, we're going to retain that data. We're going to condition and put it in order on the SD cards so that it's not lost, so you can recover it after the accident. Sometimes batteries get ripped from vehicles. Sometimes windshields fly out. One thing to consider with a separate DVR and camera, customer might lose the camera, but the DVR is going to be safe in the cab instead of out on the highway where it can be scooped up by a shovel and thrown into the trash can. Example of our pod camera, very, very small. It's a little bit larger than a dice that you would throw in a game. So very, very easy to utilize that in a lot of different places. It may not necessarily need to be something that you want to look back at the driver, but maybe outside for delivery, something like that. IP rated 69, so it's built to be in the weather. This is just another testimonial from one of our customers. Driver could not even see that car move into that spot. Think about where a truck driver sits in relation to their hood. They wouldn't even known that that happened. That wouldn't have triggered an accelerometer. They had the ability to go back and get this on demand based by time of day and be able to get the information that they needed to defend themselves, as that car driver said it was the truck that ran into the car instead of vice versa. This is another great example. On demand because of how this was created. This came through a sudden stop, so you got the event information, but very, very quick to show that that was not the truck's fault. That was kind of the car losing control. And this is the type of thing where, think about this, no eyewitnesses. There's nothing that's going to tell anybody between the car driver's word and the truck driver's word. And unfortunately, in today our media, and not everybody being the most honest person in the world, they're looking to take advantage of that company-owned equipment. In closing, take this message away, and that is that with this Geotab integration, you're allowing your customers to utilize tools that they're used to today and be able to add to that at a much higher and deeper level than what might be available from a competitor that has a separate device that's not as integrated and taking advantage of the exception data that Geotab's had. Be sure and drop by D8. I don't know where we're at on time for questions.
We have time for a couple questions. Anyone have questions for Trimble Video? Anyone? Going once, going twice. All right, well, thanks to Trimble Video for their presentation. If you do have questions, as Jim said, please visit their booth, and please enjoy the rest of Connect 2020. Have a good evening.